Okay, so I'm bringing you this vlog because I'm a tiny bit frustrated. So I was watching stuff on Netflix. My battery got down to 10%, about 15. So I plugged it in, which is what you're supposed to do because you best not. From what I've researched on Macs, you best to not get your cycle count up. You best not letting it get to 0 because if you do that, then you charge it to full cycle. So to keep your cycle count low, you best not charging it from 0. Plugged it in, gets to 100%, unplug it. But then I press on the thing, accidentally not realising, I see a thing with a triangle with an exclamation point, and now that means something important. So it says service battery. So I've gone on service battery in the system information. Now, I downloaded that when I first got this because I was using Google Chrome, and Google Chrome's crap for battery life. So I downloaded this battery health app. Now, according to this, the health is decent. Now, obviously, I don't know how trustworthy this app is, but it just seems a bit of a coincidence. Now, I've also done some research, and it says that this thing usually comes up when you do an update. I did an update yesterday. Now, you can't tell me that that is a coincidence. So, I've tried resetting the system management controller. That's not worked. Not really much else you can do. So, now all I can do is wait for the battery to drain completely. And yeah. Now, there is one caveat to this. The other week, when the lockdown first started, basically when you're working, you're supposed to be able to provide documentation to the police, say if you got pulled over or whatever. So I was trying to print one off. Now this had got down to 0%. It had completely died. I had not used it for a couple of days because I've been busy being a porn star, which is what I do for a living, because that's essential, obviously. And basically, it wouldn't turn on for about 5-10 minutes, even though it plugged in. So, could that have been something to do with it? I don't think so. I've not other than that, I've not noticed any significant changes. It does seem like it's not lasted as long, but I'm driving 2 screens plus this screen plus the keyboard plus the hard drives and stuff, plus all the speakers and the sound stuff. So I can understand it being drained quickly. So I personally don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's no bulging at the bottom of it, so the battery's not thing, and it's not. From what it says, you can still use it. So there's normal, which is what I would have thought it was. There's replacing, the battery is functioning normally but holds less charge than it did when replaced. Now the battery is functional. Normally it holds significantly less charge. You can continue to use the battery until you replace it without harming your computer. Service battery. The battery isn't functioning normally. You may or may not notice a change in its behaviour and the amount of charge it's holding. Take your computer for a service. You can continue to use your battery before it's checked without harming your computer. So there's something wrong with it. But the health in this app is like 80%. And when I first had it, it was roughly that. So that's not deteriorated. So I think it's to do with this software update, which is then planned obsolescence, which then means is it's going to root the latest version of macOS, which is 10.15.4, probably like dot some other or whatever, but that's planned obsolescence, which basically means they've purposely changed something because this is a 2015 one. They've purposely changed something that's caused the battery to have that service thing, which after so long I'd probably presume is kind of like the Adobe Genuine Checker thing. It'll like let you use it for so long, and then after so long it'll just cut you off, which basically then means I'm going to have to upgrade, which I'm not going to do because I'm not a fucking retard. I plan to buy a computer, like a proper one, and then just use this as a side thing, like checking emails, and say if I ever had a meeting, like doing spreadsheets and stuff. That's what I'd use this for. But then I'm going to buy a proper Windows computer now. I'd promised myself that I'd never go back to Windows, but I want to do some gaming, but I don't want to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox because that's stupid, because I don't like using TV because it's pointless. It just is pointless. So I'm probably going to end up, once all this lockdown stuff's over, and if it does decide to be a tosser with me, I'll just get a computer and I'll just not use it. Because at the end of the day, that's bollocks. Now it lasted me a year. I bought it used, admittedly, but that just because they've updated the software shouldn't mean the battery should start being shit. At the end of the day, the battery is a physical thing. That's just a software thing that tells you, oh, there's something wrong with it. There's not, because that, like I said, that app says that it's alright. So I think it's personally just a scaremongering tactic to try and get, oh, look at the new 2021, it's like £2.5 grand. It's probably the same price as getting a new battery, even though. But the battery's like 60 quid on stuff in eBay. Admittedly, I wouldn't have the patience to take all the stuff out of it. So if the battery does go on it, I will see how much it would be to get replaced, whether that be at an Apple store or a computer store that's cheaper. And if it's more than 70 quid, I'd leave it and I'd just buy a computer and then do all my work on that, and then just keep this as a bit of thingy tech. I like I say, I think it's just software. So for as long as it works, it works. If it stops working, and it fucking bulges out the bottom, I'll use it until the fucking is leaking acid, because at the end of the day, it is a tool to just get the job done. And if it's got the job done, which it has for the past like couple of months, then it's fine. And I guess if I can't be, because if this lockdown thing does continue, I'll just go back to resorting to that thing. Well, it's not gone down in battery. It's mainly just been sat on Google, but Google is a very hungry website. So, yeah, I don't know. Go back to watching something about some bloke who keeps cats in his back garden, and some woman that he knows fed her husband to thing. Yeah, it's boring, but I've got to watch it because I don't like the fact that Netflix doesn't have a remove from continue watching. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Ben, and Apple, Tim Cook, whatever, Johnny Ive, I don't know. Like I say, it's just a software issue.